Some of you might recall that Charlie and I had an Olympic hopeful living with us for several months while she trained at the Aliso Viejo Ice Palace skating rink. After many months, she finally allowed us to watch her skate. Charlie and I were astonished how much faster a skater appears rink side as compared to viewing on television. It is clearly a matter of perspective. In this Shabbat's Torah portion, Parashat Pinchas, we learn of the daughters of Zelophehad. Because of the prevailing law, with no male heirs, upon Zelophehad's death, his 5 daughters are destined to lose their family's property. So the daughters petition Moses to allow them to inherit their father's assets and to continue his name. In our time, women's rights to own property has become commonplace, expected, but Moses couldn't see it. He needed to approach God, who of course could see the need to grant the daughters of Zelophehad this obvious right and dignity. What Moses was missing was perspective that apparently only God could provide. As most of you know, I recently had a close-up and personal experience with perspective that only God could provide me. My story begins here. At the end of February, I had a recurrence of a pain in my leg that would come and go over the years and last only seconds and not return sometimes for months. Only this time, the pain not only persisted and increased, but spread until it covered my thigh from my knee to my hip. This prompted me to call our 24-hour nurse line, who suggested I go to urgent care within 3 to 4 hours. While I resisted, I listened to a dear friend with whom I happened to be playing mahjong virtually when the 24-hour nurse returned my call, who had experienced a blood clot and thought this might be worth checking. Charlie made an after-hours appointment for me a half an hour hence at our local urgent care. When I arrived, I learned that office was no longer providing such service and that my appointment was actually at a different location. I proceeded swiftly to the other location. To my surprise and delight, the physician there was my PCP, primary care physician of 20 years, who had, to my disappointment, closed her private practice a couple of years earlier. An X-ray did not reveal a blood clot or anything else noteworthy, but the doctor recommended I see a neurologist. Mental eye roll. Since I trusted this doctor, I followed her advice, but I was only able to get an appointment, and a telehealth one at that, a month away. I did accept an appointment with the neurologist nurse for 2 weeks hence. I thought perhaps I should see my orthopedist, who was caring for an ongoing back issue in the meantime, and got an appointment also for 2 weeks away. Of course, by the time these appointments rolled around, the leg pain was gone and has not returned. Boy, what to do? I kept the appointments partially because they were a little hard to get. The orthopedist had nothing new to offer. And when I got home from that appointment, I learned the neurologist had an opening that same day. So I met with him virtually instead of his nurse as planned. His initial response amused me. He had had the same type of leg pain. Since my leg pain was now gone, there wasn't much to address, but he wanted me to get an MRI. I balked at this since I had had one within the preceding 12 months, but he was adamant. Oy vey, I had no leg pain. There just didn't seem to be a point to getting an MRI. More mental eye rolling. This seemed a lot of attention on me for nothing, a fully subsided leg pain, but he insisted. When the results of the MRI revealed a mass on my kidney, which was, by the way, totally unrelated to my previous leg pain, the neurologist referred me back to my PCP, who referred me for a CT scan. I had no symptoms from whatever was going on with my kidney. The afternoon of the morning of that I had the CT scan, I received a call from my PCP, again while I was playing mahjong virtually with my friends. She did not mince words. You have kidney cancer. I was told I had stage 1 cancer, specifically renal cell carcinoma. Based on the predicted rate of growth, just 6 months more could have made a difference in the progression, location, and risk of the disease. So I am incredibly blessed that it was discovered when it was. With this diagnosis and expected rapid resolution, I did not feel I merited the attention of someone with cancer. And yet, there I was. Throughout this series of events, I could have decided at any point to take a left turn, not follow through. But clearly, each serendipitous event was essential for the positive outcome. At every step of the way, my mental eye rolling notwithstanding, I needed to listen to God's unspoken yet powerful voice urging me on. God's voice was in my friend's words that perhaps I should make sure I didn't have a blood clot, the trusted urgent care doctor who insisted I see a neurologist, and so on. Life sometimes requires that we take a closer or broader view, change our perspective in order to really see what is in front of or even inside of us. A month ago, I had a partial nephrectomy to remove the tumor and margins. The recent post-op visit with the surgeon revealed this aggressive stage 3 cancer will need to be monitored closely. I remain optimistic that through watchful waiting, I'll learn what next steps, if any, I'll need to take. I will need to continue to listen to my body and to the experts. But this isn't just about listening to those inner or external voices. One new perspective among many I've gained from this experience is that we really don't know what others in our community, perhaps circle of friends, and even our family might have going on. In some cases like mine, they might not even know themselves. I am blessed to have so many rooting for me, praying for me, and wishing me well, nourishing my soul and in some cases, my belly. But who else out there might need this same bit of encouragement and support? Maybe everyone we see needs our love, our extended hand, our smiles of support, our prayers in some way or another. While we've davened and learned via Zoom, we've had many more intimate opportunities, one friend noted, to look into each other's faces, more so even than we do when we are together in person. Again, it's a matter of perspective. And speaking of perspective, I am humbled by all the support I've received because I do not feel worthy. I am reminded of the words of Rabbi Bunham, who taught, everyone should have 2 pockets, each one containing a slip of paper. On one should be written, Va'anochi afar ve'efar, I am but dust and ashes, quoting Genesis 18:27. And on the other, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, the world was created for my sake, quoting Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 37b. From time to time, we must reach into one pocket or the other. What better way to keep proper perspective? Shabbat Shalom.